Hey everyone, welcome to a cold, reasonably clear day in the Scottish Highlands. It's only just started raining a little bit and I'm fairly sure it's going to clear up, so we're all good. I'm coming at you with another gear review today, a quick one about the Lone Peak 4 RSM ultralight hiking boots. I've used these considerably now and I thought I'd let you know what I felt about them, good, bad and otherwise. Give you some facts right up top about these. They are an ultralight hiking boot weighing in at 370 grams for the size 9.5 model. That's what size these are. They use traditional Ultra system where they are very much shaped like a human foot. They're tried to be anatomical in their shape. They have a wide foot box, zero drop between heel and toe, a 25mm stack height. They have a stone guard protection built into them, mixed compound rubber using Ultra's very common own DuraTread, I believe it's called, and they have this claw system for their grip. They are completely waterproof. They use Event waterproof material throughout. They retail for £150. The Lone Peak 4 models have now been replaced by the Lone Peak 4.5, which still retails for £150 in this version, the all-weather version. The new version of the RSM model is actually called the all-weather version. From what I can see, they're extremely similar, so hopefully most of what I'll say about these is largely going to be applicable to the newer model and certainly applicable to Ultra footwear in general if you're not familiar with it. That's really the basic facts for you. It uses a lace-up system. It has their built-in gaiter trap, so it's quite easy to attach a gaiter to the front, rear and sides. And otherwise, they're pretty much a standard trail hiking boot. There's not a huge amount otherwise to them. So after all of that use, what do I think is really good about these shoes? Well, obviously a lot of this is going to be down to personal preference, and what I think is good might not necessarily be what you think is good, but some of it is definitely objective too. So first off, up top, what I liked about these shoes is that they are very breathable. Even though they are a hiking boot, they do breathe extremely well. A big part of that is because they use Event material throughout for the waterproofing, and I've always found Event to be extremely breathable. And that was a real big positive. I didn't find my feet getting particularly hot or clammy comparative to other boots that are similar in weight and use. I also found these to be surprisingly warm, actually, given that they are very light and reasonably thin. I found them very warm. I used them considerably last winter on some snowy hikes, on long multi-day hikes in the snow, and I actually found that with the right sock layering, my feet were generally very warm, which was quite surprising because I actually thought I might struggle more with them in the cold, but they were pretty good. So that was a real positive. I like that the foot box has that extra room, which Ultra is so well known for. I have reasonably wide feet and I find that to create an extra bit of comfort for my toes. It also helps with sock layering. I do think that these are pretty borderline when it comes to sizing. I am a normal 9.5, so they're fairly true to size for me, but I would say if I wore them with a minimal sock, then they are pretty soppy. They're a bit loose. So they are much more suited for me personally if I wear like a larger or a 2-layer sock system. So I tended to use them more in colder weather. I also really liked on them the fact that they had really good traction on snow. Funny enough, I found that that was a real positive. When I was hiking on snow with them, overall the traction was very good, which I wouldn't have necessarily expected, but I guess it's in the name, rain, snow, mud, right? So that was positive. The other things that I liked about them are that the durability has been pretty decent. It's kind of a mixed one. I would say that they are extremely lightweight hiking boots, so they are never going to be the most durable option that you can get. For that kind of price, you could buy a pair of much more standard hiking boots, or a more traditional leather boot, and you're going to have much better durability that will last you potentially for years. But they're going to be a lot heavier, most likely, and they probably won't have the features that the Ultras have. So I would say for this weight level, they are reasonably durable. They do often have a bit of an issue around this toe cap, where you get a separation between the upper and the toe cap, but it doesn't seem to have caused a huge problem. So I think overall the wear's been pretty good. The wear on the tread has been pretty good as well. After hundreds of kilometers, it still seems to have quite a lot of life in it. So that's pretty positive. And pretty much that's where the positives stop with these for me personally. And I think most people who will find these a good option would be wanting something that is going to be ultralight and have that anatomical shape that Ultra offer. Having covered that, let's jump into what's not so good and some of the negatives of these boots. So what's not so good about these boots? Well, first off is something that's going to be slightly more personal to you, but because they use quite a minimal stack height and not a lot of rubber, or foam rather, you can sometimes feel the ground quite a bit. And that means on harder ground particularly, you're likely to get more foot fatigue and have that feeling that your feet have been beaten up a bit more. Now that's a degree of personal preference. I personally like something that often has a bit of more of a stack height, more foam to it, gives you more cushioning. That's not going to suit everyone though, so you often will need to try it out, and part of that is down to the fact that Altra use this zero drop system as well, which is not something that everyone will get along with, and you sometimes, as I say, will need to try it to know. I certainly like it in some ways, but personally prefer in general something that has more of a stack height and more of a sort of banana shape to encourage my foot roll, particularly on longer hikes or runs. Next up, things I didn't like, and this is a huge one, the grip on these. I really found the grip to let me down consistently on pretty much every surface that wasn't snow. And that meant that I just didn't trust them and ended up not wanting to use them all the time because they were really slippery. And that was particularly on wet rock, which is obviously a surface that most things struggle on, but even on dry rock and on grassy hills, open tussocky areas, just in general in the Highlands, on most hikes, I was finding that at some point I had an issue with these grip-wise, and that really disappointed me. I couldn't really figure out whether it was the rubber compound, the lug depth, the style, this claw shape they use, but whatever it is, or a mixture of those, it really let me down, and I was frustrated, and it's honestly put me off of trying other Altras a little bit too. That and the fact that I'm not so hot on the zero drop system makes me really hesitant. But I do know a lot of people that swear by Altras, so hey, don't shoot me if you're an Altra lover. I'm sure they work well for you. This is my personal opinion on these. I thought that the waterproofing, although it uses E-Vent, which I love and is super breathable, was slightly iffy. At times I found that my feet were really good and dry even on long wetter hikes, but I did have some failures where there was definitely water getting in and I couldn't seem to work out exactly why or how. So that's something just to watch out for. It wasn't a huge issue, but it was definitely something that slightly concerned me. Otherwise, there aren't a huge amount of other negatives, to be honest, on these. I mean, durability, I think, has been reasonably good, but you could look at it as a negative because they're ultralight hiking boots. You're paying quite a lot of money for something that's just not going to last as long as a traditional boot. But the big one is the grip. If they had have had better grip, I would be much more inclined to have enjoyed them and kept them right until they, you know, had no more life left in them at all. Anyway, I think that these are a worthwhile option for anyone who's looking for a very ultralight boot that's got good weather resistance and waterproofing. And certainly if you're someone that wants something that's zero drop with a lower stack height, then these are going to be something you should consider. If you're already someone who likes Altra footwear and you're looking for a hiking boot for the colder weather, then hey, this is probably right up your street. And as I say, if you're going to use them solely in snow, they seem to work really well for that. So that was cool. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. And most of it, like I say, is going to be applicable to the newer model too. But yeah, we'll come at you with some more reviews soon. If you liked it, then give us a thumbs up. Check us out on Instagram at Outdoor Intrigue. And if you've got any questions about this or anything else, then leave it down in the comments below. And we'll see you next time, guys, just in time for the rain. Bye.